High above Coruscant's glittering cityscape, reality tore like paper, spilling light the color of superheated plasma. Hyperspace lanes snapped into automatic rerouting as proximity alarms howled across the upper atmosphere. Traffic control crews stared at their consoles, confronted with readings that defied every classification. Energy signatures that weren't ion drives, weren't weapon discharges, weren't anything their systems were built to recognize. The rift throbbed once, twice, then spat something into the Clone Wars galaxy that had never been part of it. Naruto Uzumaki was hurled from the dimensional tier, Kurama's chakra still blazing around him like a compact sun. One instant, he'd been testing a space-time seal array with Sasuke. The next, only the void, falling, twisting, plunging through colors that had no name. Now he plummeted toward a planet that stretched horizon to horizon, entirely covered in lights and structures. His sensory abilities attuned to chakra signatures across continents, suddenly flooded with something else entirely. Not chakra, different everywhere. A pervasive energy that felt alive, conscious, watching. Kurama, Naruto's voice carried over the howling wind. Where the hell are we? Nowhere. I recognize Kit. The Nine-Tails growl rumbled through their mental link. That energy, it's not chakra. It's something older. Be ready. Naruto flipped midair. 6 paths sage mode activating instinctively. His eyes shifted to cross-littered pupils with orange pigmentation as truth-seeking orbs materialized around him. He arrested his fall 1,000 meters above the cityscape, floating as he took in the impossible sight below. Metal and durust steel stretched in every direction. Kilometer-high towers piercing cloud layers. Flying vehicles weaving through designated lanes in organized chaos. No trees, no natural landscape. Just endless civilization wrapped around the entire planet. And that energy, it pulsed through everything like a heartbeat. Okay, Naruto muttered, scanning for threats with sensory abilities that screamed danger from multiple directions. Not the elemental nations. Definitely not. Then he felt them approaching. 2 signatures radiating that strange energy, moving faster than any Junin. Naruto's combat instincts honed through a war against gods, tracked their trajectory. They were coming from a massive temple complex near the planet's equator, closing fast. Not hostile yet. Curious, concerned. He needed answers, and punching his way across an alien planet wasn't the play. Naruto let the truth-seeking orbs disperse, keeping just enough 6 paths chakra active to hover in place. Better to look a little less like a walking apocalypse, though the blazing orange and black cloak probably wasn't helping his case. 2 figures on speeder bikes broke from the traffic lanes, angling straight toward him. Naruto's enhanced vision picked out details easily. One was older, dressed in tan robes with some kind of glowing sword hanging at his belt. The other was younger, a teenage girl with orange skin and distinctive head tails, gripping twin lightsabers. Were those actually laser swords? The older one lifted his hand, and Naruto felt that strange energy gather and press against him. It reminded him of a gentle Shinra Tensei, only powered by this world's force instead of chakra. Interesting. He allowed himself to be nudged downward toward a landing platform, boots touching metal as the 2 riders hopped off their speeders. Stay calm, the older man said, one hand resting on his weapon but not drawing it. We're not here to hurt you. I'm Anakin Skywalker, Jedi Knight. This is my Padawan, Ahsoka Tano, Jedi. Naruto tilted his head. The word meant nothing to him. Never heard of you, but I'm not looking for trouble either, Databayo. He flashed his signature grin, though his senses stayed keyed up. The 2 in front of him radiated light and purpose. That strange energy flowed through them in tightly controlled patterns. Ahsoka's eyes narrowed. Master, his energy signature. It's nothing like anything I've felt. Not light, not dark. Something completely different. I noticed, Anakin said, gaze never leaving Naruto. You're not from the Republic, the Separatists, or any system I know. That entrance, you tore open space itself. What are you? Naruto Uzumaki. Hidden Leaf Village. Naruto folded his arms, studying them right back. And I've got no clue how I ended up here. 1 minute I'm home, next I'm falling toward your insane planet-sized city. Where am I? What galaxy is this? The two Jedi exchanged a look. Naruto recognized instantly. 1,000 battles and too many diplomatic sessions had made him very good at reading people. That look said they thought he was either crazy, extremely dangerous, or both. You're on Coruscant, Ahsoka answered carefully, capital of the Galactic Republic. And if you really don't know that, that's a problem. The Republic spans thousands of systems. You'd have to be from outside known space not to recognize it, or outside this dimension entirely. Anakin cut in, flexing his mechanical hand. That rift opened like a hyperspace breach, but wrong. No ship, no beacon, just raw energy. And you. His eyes hardened. We're in the middle of a war. I need to know, are you working with the Separatists? Count Dooku? Anyone? Naruto felt it then, the weight pressing down on this older warrior. Exhaustion. Duty grinding him down from every direction. Darkness coiled just beneath the surface, held in check but never gone. It reminded him of Sasuke, before he'd found his way back. And beneath all that, fear. Not of Naruto, but for someone. For several someones. Never heard of any of those guys, Naruto said, honestly. But I do recognize that look. You're fighting a war. You're not sure you can win. Trying to protect people you care about. And it's tearing you up inside. He relaxed his stance on purpose, letting them see he wasn't picking a fight. I've been there. Led my village through a war that almost wiped out our world. So no, I'm not with your enemies. I'm just lost, and I need to figure out how to get home. Anakin's hand slipped away from his lightsaber. Something in Naruto's words, or the way he said them, hit home. The Jedi Council will want to see you, Anakin said. Your power, whatever it is, they'll want to understand it. Make sure you're not a threat. Fine by me. Naruto shrugged. Maybe your council knows something about dimensional travel, and I'd like some answers about that energy I keep sensing everywhere. It's like everything here's alive. You can sense the Force. Ahsoka's head tails twitched in surprise. But you're not Force sensitive. I'd be able to tell. Force, huh? Naruto grinned. Different energy system, I guess. Where I'm from, we call it chakra. And yeah, I can feel your force. It's everywhere. Pretty impressive setup you've got. Anakin thumbed on his comlink. Obi-Wan, this is Skywalker. We've secured the anomaly. It's not what we expected. Requesting council audience immediately. As they guided Naruto toward their speeders, the shinobi took one last look at the impossible city planet. Somewhere in this massive galaxy, there had to be a way home. But his instincts, the same ones that had kept him alive through impossible odds, whispered that he'd landed in the middle of something big, something that might need a hero, even if this wasn't his world. And Naruto Uzumaki never could walk away from people who needed helps. If you want to see more characters enter the Star Wars galaxy, hit that subscribe button and drop the name of a character you'd want to see in the comments below. May the Force be with you. The Jedi Temple rose from Coruscant's surface like a mountain of ancient purpose, its 5 spires reaching toward the perpetual twilight of the city-planet sky. Naruto sat behind Anakin, on the speeder bike, watching the structure grow larger with each passing second. His sensory abilities painted a picture that defied logic. Hundreds of those light energy signatures concentrated in one location, each one unique, like fingerprints made of that Force energy they kept mentioning. Pretty fancy place, Naruto observed as they descended toward a landing platform. Your village's Hokage must be something else. Hokage. Ahsoka glanced back from her own speeder. The Jedi don't have a Hokage. We have the Council. 12 masters who guide the Order. 12 leaders. Naruto frowned. That sounds like it'd get messy. Back home, We learned that too many voices making decisions usually means nobody decides anything. Anakin's shoulders tensed. You're not wrong. The council deliberates, sometimes too much. There was an edge to his voice that Naruto recognized. Frustration with authority, the kind that built up when you were strong enough to act, but forced to wait for permission. They landed in a restricted hangar where Republic guards stood at attention, though their weapons tracked Naruto's every movement. He kept his hands visible, chakra reserves ready but not manifested. No point starting a fight when he needed information. A tall, bearded man in similar robes approached, his presence radiating calm authority mixed with dry amusement. Anakin, the man said, your report mentioned an anomaly. I expected debris, perhaps a damaged ship. Otter. He studied Naruto with keen blue eyes, a young man who apparently tears through dimensions.
Master Kenobi.
Anakin gestured to Naruto. This is Naruto Uzumaki. He claims to be from another dimension entirely. His power signature is unlike anything we've encountered. Another dimension. Obi-Wan stroked his beard. How wonderfully complicated. And here I thought our war was sufficient excitement. He nodded to Naruto. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedi Master and General of the Republic's Third Systems Army. Welcome to Coruscant, though I suspect your arrival wasn't intentional. Got that right. Naruto hopped off the speeder, stretching. 1 minute I'm testing seals with my best friend. Next I'm crashing into your crazy city. But hey, at least nobody's tried to kill me yet. That's a good start. Believe it. Obi-Wan's eyebrow rose. The day is young though. I advise maintaining that optimistic outlook. You'll need it for the council. He began walking toward the temple's interior. They're convening now. Every master who isn't off-world will want to assess you. Your arrival has caused quite the stir among our seers. Several reported disturbances in the force at the moment you appeared. The temple's corridors stretched in elegant symmetry, lined with ancient statues and illuminated by natural light filtering through massive windows. Naruto's sensory net expanded, cataloging everything. Younglings training in distant chambers, their energy signatures bright and undisciplined. Warriors meditating, their power coiled like sleeping serpents. And deeper in the heart of the temple, 12 presences that burned like contained suns. Your order trains kids, Naruto asked, catching sight of a group of children practicing with training lightsabers. We identify force-sensitive children young, Ahsoka explained. Bring them here to train as Jedi. It's been our way for thousands of years. Naruto's expression darkened. You take them from their families. We ask permission, Obi-Wan said carefully, though we do emphasize the importance of training. Untrained force sensitives can be dangerous to themselves and others. Still, Naruto's tone carried weight. Where I'm from, we train kids too. Make them into weapons when we meet soldiers. I've lost too many friends who started fighting before they understood what they were fighting for. He met Obi-Wan's gaze. Just because something's been done for thousands of years doesn't make it right. Anakin shot his former master a look that said, told you he was interesting. They reached the council chamber, a circular room with tall windows overlooking the city. 12 chairs arranged in a perfect circle, and in most of them sat masters who represented centuries of accumulated wisdom. Naruto felt their attention focus on him like targeting lasers, probing with that force energy. He let his own chakra flare in response, not aggressive, just making it clear he wasn't defenseless. Welcome, young, spoke a small ancient being with long ears and a walking stick. His presence in the force dwarfed everyone else's. 900 years of accumulated power and wisdom radiating from a body barely 3 feet tall. Master Yoda, iron questions. We have patient. I hope you will be. Naruto bowed respectfully. I'll answer what I can. I need answers too. Another council member, a stern woman with an air of absolute authority, leaned forward. I am Shark T. Your arrival coincided with significant disturbances across the Force. Seers on 3 different worlds reported visions of tears and reality. You claim to be from another dimension. Not a claim, it's what happened.
Naruto crossed his arms. I was in my world testing a space-time technique. Something went wrong. Reality broke, and I fell through into yours. I didn't choose to be here. This energy you wield, said a dark-skinned master with white hair. Mace Wu, I am. Your power does not draw from the Force, yet you moved through the air, generated what appeared to be physical matter, and resisted Skywalker's Force push without effort. Explain. Naruto grinned. That's chakra. Where I'm from, everyone has it. Physical and spiritual energy combined. Ninja like me train our whole lives to use it. I can make solid copies of myself, throw energy attacks that could level mountains, sense emotions and intentions from miles away. And he paused, considering how much to reveal. A lot more. It's my power earned through training and bonds with people I care about. Concerning this as Yoda's ears drooped. Power without the Force unprecedented. Test you. We must understand your nature. We must test away. Naruto shrugged. But I'm not joining your war. I just want to find a way home. Perhaps we can help with that. Obi-Wan offered diplomatically. The Jedi archives contain knowledge spanning millennia. Holocrons with information about spatial anomalies, dimensional theory. An alarm shrieked through the temple, red lights flashing. A hologram materialized in the chamber's center, a clone trooper in white armor, his helmet displaying orange markings. Council, this is Commander Cody. We've got a situation. Separatist fleet dropped out of hyperspace near the Lantillian shipyards. 3 Providence-class destroyers and twice that many frigates. Republic convoy is pinned down. They're requesting immediate Jedi support. The Admiral aboard is Senator Amidala's transport. Anakin was moving before anyone else, face going pale. Padme Skywalker wait. Mace Wu's command carried Force weight. The Council hasn't, but Anakin was already running. Ahsoka close behind. Obi-Wan sighed deeply. I'll go retrieve our impulsive knight before he gets himself killed. He glanced at Naga. Stay here. The Council will. Not happening. Narad's eyes blazed with determination. Someone you care about is in danger, right? I know that look. And I've never been good at standing around while people die. He started after Anakin. Besides, you want to see what I can do. Show me this war of yours. Foolish this is, Yoda muttered, but there was a glint in his ancient eyes. Yet perhaps learn more in battle. We will go with him, Master Kenobi. Watch this stranger closely. The hangar erupted into controlled chaos as Anakin vaulted into the cockpit of a yellow starfighter, hands flying over controls with practiced precision. Ahsoka jumped into her own ship while Obi-Wan moved toward a third. Naruto stood on the platform, watching these strange aircraft power up with engines that hummed with directed energy. Uzumaki, Obi-Wan called over the engine room. Can you survive in space? Never tried. Naruto shouted back, but I can hold my breath for a really long time, and my healing factor is pretty crazy. That's not reassuring. Obi-Wan pinched the bridge of his nose. Anakin, he'll need to ride with no time. Anakin's fighter was already lifting off. Padme's ship is taking fire. Every second counts. Narad's made a split-second decision. Shadow clones, hundreds of them, burst into existence across the hangar, making clone troopers scramble for weapons, but the clones weren't attacking. Instead, they formed a human ladder, each one boosting the next higher, until Naruto launched himself skyward with chakra-enhanced strength. He shot through the atmospheric shield like an orange comet, 6 paths sage mode blazing to life as he broke through into space. The void should have killed him instantly, should have frozen his blood, boiled his cells, suffocated him in seconds. Instead, Narad's 6 paths chakra formed a protective barrier, recycling his oxygen and regulating temperature. Kurama's chakra provided additional layers of defense against radiation and vacuum. He floated in the star-speckled darkness, taking in the impossible sight. Coruscant curved below him, a jewel of lights against the black. Above, dozens of massive warships exchanged fire, beams of brilliant energy lancing through space, explosions blossoming silently. The Republic convoy was a cluster of diplomatic cruisers surrounded by smaller escort vessels, all trying to fight their way past a separatist blockade of angular warships that looked like predatory fish. Anakin's fighters strayed by Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. Naruto grinned, then pushed off nothing, using raw chakra to propel himself forward. He couldn't fly at light speed, but he didn't need to. The battle was right there. Kid, this is insane. Kurama's voice rumbled through their link. We have no idea how space combat works here. Then we'll learn fast. Naruto built chakra in his palm, forming a standard Rasen gun. Besides big ships, lots of targets. Can't be that different from fighting summons. He angled toward the nearest separatist frigate, a wedge-shaped vessel bristling with turbo laser batteries.
The ship's point defense system swiveled, tracking his approach. Laser fire converged on his position. Naruto twisted mid-space, 6 paths reflexes, letting him dodge beams that moved at a light speed. He closed the distance, pulled his arm back, and slammed the Rasen gun into the frigate's hull. The spiraling sphere of chakra tore through durasteel armor like paper, grinding deeper and deeper until it breached the reactor core. The frigate shuddered, secondary explosions rippling along its length before the whole ship tore itself apart in a brilliant fireball. In the Starfighter squadron, Ahsoka's voice crackled over comms. "Master, did you see that? He destroyed a frigate with his bare hands. I saw it, Ahsoka." Obi-Wan's tone suggested he was reconsidering every assumption he had made about their dimensional visitor. "Anakin, our new friend, appears quite effective in ship-to-ship combat." "Good." Anakin's fighter wore through a storm of turbo laser fire, taking down vulture droids with precise shots. Padme's transport just lost shields. They can't take much more. Naruto spotted the diplomatic cruiser, sleek silver vessel taking concentrated fire from 2 separatist destroyers. Its hull showed blackened scars, atmosphere venting from multiple breaches. He pushed harder, building more chakra, and felt Kurama's power surge through their link. "If we're doing this, kid, do it right. Show these metal monsters what real power looks like." The Nine Tails chakra exploded outward, forming the massive golden avatar of Kurama around Naruto's body. In the vacuum of space, the Beiju chakra construct blazed like a second sun, a gigantic fox made of pure energy, easily matching the smaller warships in size. Clone troopers aboard the Republic convoy stopped shooting, staring at the impossible sight through viewports. "What in the blazes?" A clone pilot's voice cut across all frequencies. "Command, are you seeing this? There's a giant golden fox in space. Repeat, giant golden fox." Naruto didn't waste time. Kurama's avatar charged the nearest Providence-class destroyer, claws of solidified chakra raking across its hull. Armor that could withstand concentrated turbo laser bombardment shredded like tissue paper. The destroyer's crew scrambled to respond. But how did you fight something that shouldn't exist? Turbo lasers fired point blank, striking Kurama's chakra form. The energy attacks passed through harmlessly, unable to affect pure life energy. Naruto formed a tailed beast ball, compressing catastrophic amount of chakra into a sphere of black and white energy. He released it at the destroyer's bridge. The resulting explosion vaporized the entire forward section, and the massive ship began listing, secondary systems failing across the board. "All ships concentrate fire on the anomaly." A separatist tactical droid's emotionless voice issued orders. "Ignore the Jedi fighters. Priority target." Too late. Naruto was already moving to the second destroyer, Kurama's avatar crossing the distance in seconds. This time he didn't bother with precision. Multiple shadow clones appeared across the battlefield, each one summoning their own Rasen gun variants. Massive spiraling spheres of chakra slammed into separatist ships from a dozen angles simultaneously, overwhelming their shields through sheer concentrated force. Anakin's fighter pulled alongside the Kurama avatar, his voice carrying wonder and weariness. "Nah, the convoy is clear. Pull back before a new presence entered the system." Naruto's sensory abilities screamed warning as a massive warship dropped out of hyperspace, easily twice the size of anything else present, bristling with weapons and radiating dark intent. More importantly, it carried 2 signatures that felt fundamentally wrong. One was that strange force energy, but twisted, corrupted into something that rare of hatred and hunger. The other was barely alive, more machine than man, emanating cold purpose. Dooku. Obi-Wan's voice went flat, and Grievous. Of course, they'd arrived now. On the massive warship's bridge, Count Dooku stood with hands clasped behind his back, studying the golden fox tearing through his fleet. His expression remained neutral, but his eyes gleamed with interest. Beside him, General Grievous, a towering cyborg whose very form rejected the concept of weakness, leaned forward, mechanical claws gripping the railing. "What manner of creature is that?" Grievous's voice rattled like stones in a tumbler. "It fights like a beast, but moves with purpose. A Jedi weapon?" "No." Dooku's response came slowly, thoughtfully. "The Force whispers nothing about it. This is something else entirely. Something unprecedented." He turned to the tactical droids manning stations. "Launch all fighters, pin down those Jedi starfighters. I want that creature captured or destroyed. Its existence could shift the balance of this war." Hundreds of vulture droids and tri-fighters poured from the massive ship's hangars, forming a metallic swarm. Behind them came boarding craft, aiming for the Republic convoy and the strange golden fox warrior that defied every tactical analysis. Naruto dispelled the Kurama avatar, dropping back to his 6 paths form to conserve chakra. He'd used more power than intended. Showing off had that effect, and this battle was escalating fast. The new arrivals radiated danger, especially the one whose signature felt so dark, so corrupted. It reminded him of Orochimaru at his worst. "Anakin," Nag called across space, projecting his voice with chakra. "Who are the new guys?" "Count Dooku, separatist leader and fallen Jedi." Anakin's response crackled with hatred. "And General Grievous, Jedi killer. Both of them together means this just got a lot worse." The space between warships became a chaotic maze of laser fire, explosions, and screaming metal. Naruto created a dozen shadow clones, spreading them across the battlefield to intercept boarding craft heading for the diplomatic convoy. Each clone carried his full power, his memories, his determination to protect people caught in someone else's war. "Split up." Obi-Wan's tactical voice cut through the chaos. "Anakin, escort Padme's transport to hyperspace. Ahsoka, cover the convoy's withdrawal. I'll engage. The Golden Fox is mine." Grievous' transmission overrode Republic communications, his mechanical voice promising violence. "I will add his head to my collection." A sleek fighter dropped from the massive separatist ship, custom-built, moving faster than the vulture droids, piloted by the cyborg himself. Grievous opened fire with quad laser cannons, each shot calculated to kill. Naruto twisted through the barrage, 6 paths reflexes barely keeping ahead. A near miss burned across his shoulder. He felt the heat even through his chakra protection, and his healing factor kicked in immediately, sealing the wound. "Okay," Naruto muttered, building chakra in both palms. "Big robot guy wants to play. Let's see how he handles this." He launched twin Rasen shuriken, wine nature chakra in the shape of massive shuriken, each one spinning with enough force to atomize anything they touched. Grievous's fighter barrel rolled, evading the first, but the second clipped his wing. The Rasen shuriken expanded on contact, microscopic chakra blades shredding molecular bonds. The wing disintegrated into component particles. Grievous ejected from his crippled fighter, using built-in thrusters to maintain position in space. His cape billowed despite the vacuum, magnetic field manipulation, Naruto's analytical mind noted, and 4 mechanical arms spread wide. Each hand held a lightsaber, ignited plasma blades humming with deadly intent. "You fight well for prey." Grievous advanced through space like death itself, limbs moving in patterns no organic being could replicate. "But you are flesh, and flesh always fails against my perfection." Naruto grinned, creating 4 shadow clones that surrounded the cyborg. "Funny thing about being flesh, we adapt. We get stronger."
we never give up. All 5 Narutos charged simultaneously, Rasen guns spiraling in each palm. Grievous became a whirlwind of lightsabers, his mechanical bodies spinning at superhuman speeds. 2 clones were bisected instantly, their dispelling memories flooding back to Naruto. Information about how those plasma blades cut, how Grievous predicted movements by analyzing combat patterns, how his mechanical precision left no wasted motion. The remaining clones adjusted tactics mid-strike. One fainted high, while another went low. The third threw a Rasen gun like a projectile, while Naruto himself came in from Grievous's blind spot. The cyborg's lightsabers moved impossibly fast, but chakra wasn't bound by the same rules as physical matter. Naruto's Rasen gun connected with Grievous's torso, the spiraling sphere grinding against durust steel armor. Grievous was launched backward by the impact, armor cracked, internal systems sparking. He stabilized himself, mechanical eyes focusing with new interest. Impressive. Most Jedi die within seconds. You've survived nearly a minute. But a tailed beast bomb interrupted his monologue. Naruto had been charging it while the clones fought, compressing Kurama's chakra into a sphere of destruction that could devastate landscapes. He fired it at point-blank range. Grievous threw everything into evasion, thrusters screaming at maximum output. The tailed beast bomb missed by meters and continued into space, finally detonating against a distant asteroid. The explosion was visible from Coruscant's surface, a miniature star blooming in the orbital battle zone. What are you? Grievous's composure cracked for the first time, mechanical voice rising. Someone who never gives up. Naruto prepared another attack, but movement in his peripheral vision made him abort. Anakin's fighter was spiraling out of control, engines trailing fire. The young Jedi had gotten too aggressive, pushed too deep into enemy formations, trying to protect Padme's transport, and TIE-fighters had swarmed him. Naruto didn't think, he moved on, instinct, abandoning his fight with Grievous to intercept. Shadow clones materialized in space, forming a protective wall around Anakin's crippled fighter. They took the incoming laser fire, dispelling one by one, but buying seconds. Naruto reached Anakin's cockpit, ripped the canopy off with enhanced strength, and pulled the Jedi out just as the fighter exploded. I had it under control, Anakin protested, even as Naruto held him in space with one arm, the other forming chakra chains that grappled a passing Republic gunship. Yeah, I could tell by all the exploding. Naruto swung them both toward the gunship as clone troopers opened the side doors. They tumbled inside, and Naruto finally took a breath of real oxygen instead of recycled chakra. You okay? Anakin nodded grudgingly. You saved my life. That was reckless. Impressive, but reckless, says the guy who charged 3 destroyers alone. Naruto grinned. Your girlfriend make it out? Anakin's expression softened. Padme's transport jumped to hyperspace 5 minutes ago. She's safe. Then his eyes hardened. And she's not my girlfriend. Jedi can't have attachments, can't or shouldn't. Naruto's question hung in the recycled air of the gunship. Because I'm sensing a lot of attachment energy from you, and from what I've seen, that attachment just saved her life. Before Anakin could respond, Obi-Wan's starfighter pulled alongside the gunship, his voice coming through comms. All Republic forces, enemy fleet is withdrawing. Dooku and Grievous are retreating to hyperspace. The convoy is secure. A pause. Well done, everyone, especially our dimensional visitor. The gunship's pilot, a clone with blue markings on his helmet, turned back. Sir, we're being hailed by the Jedi Temple. Master Wu wants all Jedi to report immediately. Something about he hesitated, something about making sure the Golden Fox warrior is properly contained. Naruto's sensory abilities picked up the shift in atmosphere. The clones were eyeing him differently now, not with hostility, but with weariness. He had shown too much power too quickly, made himself into something they didn't understand and couldn't categorize. Contained, Naruto's tone went flat. I just helped save your convoy. and we're grateful. Obi-Wan's diplomatic voice soothed. But you must understand, you appeared from nowhere, wielding power beyond our understanding, and just demonstrated the ability to destroy capital ships single-handedly. The Council needs assurance that you're not a threat. Ahsoka's fighter joined the formation. Master, he fought alongside us. He saved Anakin. Doesn't that prove? It proves he can be an ally. Mace Wu's voice cut across all channels, carrying authority that brooked no argument, but power without understanding is dangerous. Uzumaki will return to the temple. We have much to discuss. Naruto met Anakin's gaze. The Jedi's expression was complicated. Gratitude mixed with concern, respect mixed with fear. It was a look Naruto had seen before. Back when people had feared the Nine Tails inside him more than they trusted the boy who carried it. Yeah, Naruto said quietly. We definitely need to talk. The Jedi Council chamber felt different the second time, less welcoming, more interrogative. Naruto stood in the center while 12 masters studied him with expressions ranging from curiosity to barely concealed concern. Through the tall windows, Coruscant's endless cityscape glittered under artificial lights, a reminder that trillions of lives depended on the decisions made in this room. Powerful you are. Yoda's ancient voice broke the silence. Dangerous, perhaps. Trust you, should we? That's up to you. Naruto met the small master's gaze without flinching. But I just helped save your people. Fought your enemies. I'm not asking for your trust. I'm asking for help finding a way home. Yet you destroyed 3 separatist capital ships in under 10 minutes. Mace Wu's tone carried weight. Power like that could end this war, or make it infinitely worse, depending on whose side you choose. I'm not choosing sides in a war. I don't understand. Naruto crossed his arms. Back home, I've seen what happens when powerful people pick sides without knowing what they're really fighting for. Innocent people die. Villages burn, friends become enemies. His expression hardened. Before I commit to anything, I need to know what this war is really about. Shark T leaned forward. The separatists wish to break away from the Republic, claiming corruption and inequality. We fight to preserve democracy and peace across the galaxy. And do they have a point? Naruto's question made several council members stiffen about the corruption. I mean, because from what I saw out there, both sides have massive armies and huge ships. Wars that big don't happen unless something's really broken. The separatists are led by Count Dooku, a fallen Jedi who embraced the dark side. Obi-Wan explained, standing beside Anakin near the chamber's edge. Their droid armies have killed billions. Whatever legitimate grievances started this conflict, they've been lost to violence and tyranny. A fallen Jedi. Naruto's sensory memory recalled that dark, twisted force signature from the battle. I felt his energy. Reminded me of someone from my world. Orochimaru guy who fell into darkness chasing power and immortality. He paused, but he came back. Found a different path. Is redemption possible here, or do your Jedi just write people off once they fall? The silence that followed was heavy with unspoken history. Some are beyond saving. Mace Wu finally said, Dooku has killed thousands personally. His master, Darth Sidious, orchestrates this entire war from the shadows. The Sith deal in absolutes, power, domination, the dark side of the Force. There is no reasoning with them. Everyone says that about the irredeemable ones. Naruto's voice carried conviction born from experience. I've talked down people who murdered my parents, who tried to destroy my village, who fell so deep into hatred they couldn't see light anymore. And you know what? Most of them just needed someone to understand their pain to offer another path. Anakin shifted, his mechanical hand clenching. Something in Naruto's words resonated, touched a nerve. Admirable, your optimism is. Yoda tapped his walking stick, but tested, it has not been against the true darkness of this galaxy. The Sith corrupt everything they touch. Lost Dooku was the moment he embraced his hatred. Then I guess we disagree. Nog shrugged. Where I'm from, we have a technique. Some people call it taught no jutsu. It's about connecting with people, understanding their pain, finding common ground. It saved more lives than any of my jutsu ever did. The Jedi Code teaches us to release our attachments. Kiadi Mundi spoke, his tall form imposing. Emotional connections cloud judgment, lead to possessiveness, fear of loss. These are paths to the dark side. That's insane. Naruto's blunt response made several masters blink. My bonds with people are what make me strong. My friends, my village, my family. They're the reason I fight, the reason I get back up when I'm beaten down. You're telling me the thing that gives me strength is what you consider dangerous. It is the fear of losing those bonds that corrupts. Obi-Wan said diplomatically, attachment leads to jealousy, possessiveness, or it leads to understanding, compassion, and the will to protect others. Nog's voice rose. I've watched friends die, lost my parents before I knew them, been alone and hated by my entire village as a kid. But those bonds, those connections, they didn't make me fall into darkness. They saved me from it. Anakin was nodding slightly, his expression conflicted. Ahsoka watched her master with concern. A different philosophy you offer, Yoda observed. Interesting it is, but untested in our galaxy. Your way remains. Then tested, Naruto met the ancient master's gaze. Give me a mission, something where I can show you that bonds and attachments aren't weaknesses. Let me prove that caring about people makes you stronger, not weaker. The council members exchanged glances. Silent communication flowing through the force. Finally, Mace Wu spoke. There is a matter requiring attention. The agricultural world of Relo is under separatist occupation. The Twi'lek people suffer under droid oppression. We're planning a liberation operation. High risk, complicated by civilian presence. Skywalker will lead the operation. Shak Ti added. You will accompany him. Uzumaki, show us how your bonds translate to combat effectiveness. But understand, Jedi will be watching. This is your chance to prove you're an ally, or prove you're too dangerous to leave unsupervised. Mace Wu's unspoken implication hung in the air. Fine by me, Noctu grinned. When do we leave? 2 hours, Anakin said, stepping forward. Briefing in the hangar, bring whatever equipment you need. As the council dismissed them, Obi-Wan caught Naruto's arm. A word of caution, young Uzumaki. Anakin is complicated. He cares deeply for those under his command. Perhaps too deeply by Jedi standards. Your philosophy about bonds and attachments may resonate with him in ways that concern the council. You mean he's like me? Naruto studied the Jedi Master. Someone who refuses to follow rules that don't make sense. Someone who fights for people, not principles. Precisely. Obi-Wan's expression was troubled. Which is why I'm asking you to be careful. Anakin is one of the most powerful Jedi alive, but he walks a dangerous line. Your influence could push him in unpredictable directions, or help him stay balanced. Naruto pulled his arm free gently. You guys keep trying to suppress emotions, cut bonds, avoid attachments, but from what I can sense, that just makes the dark side more tempting. Maybe what he needs isn't less connection. Maybe he needs to learn how to handle those connections without fear. He walked away, leaving Obi-Wan staring after him with an expression that mixed concern and grudging curiosity. 2 hours later, Naruto stood in the hangar beside Anakin, watching clone troopers load gunships with supplies. Ahsoka was coordinating with squadron leaders, her voice carrying authority beyond her years. The mission was straightforward on paper. Drop into showing fleet movements, casualty reports, strategic projections, the machinations of a war he helped orchestrate, but his attention focused on a single hologram projected large and clear. Footage from the Lantillian battle, the Golden Fox avatar tearing through ships, the dimensional warrior moving through space unprotected, power that defied every force-based understanding Dooku's possessed. Most intriguing, he murmured, rewinding the footage to watch Naruto form a tailed beast bomb. Such raw power, yet completely untouched by the Force. How is that possible? The chamber's shadows deepened impossibly, and a presence manifested that made even Dooku, Sith Lord and fallen Jedi Master, suppress a shudder of primal recognition. The holographic figure that materialized stood in Sith robes, face hidden beneath a hood. But the power radiating from even this projection was overwhelming. Lord Sidious, Dooku bowed. I was about to report the anomaly. Yes, Darth Sidious's voice carried the weight of ancient malice wrapped in political civility. I felt the disturbance, a tear in reality itself, depositing something foreign into our carefully balanced war. The hologram's face remained shadowed, but Dooku felt his master's attention like targeting lasers. Tell me everything. Dooku played the footage, narrating clinical observations. He calls himself Naruto Uzumaki, claims to be from another dimension entirely, wields an energy he calls chakra, separate from the Force, possibly superior in raw destructive capacity. He destroyed 3 Providence-class destroyers in minutes, fought General Grievous to a standstill, and survived unprotected space exposure. Fascinating. Sidious watched the replay 3 times, analyzing every movement. And the Jedi? How have they responded? Cautiously, my spies report. The Council is uncertain whether he's an asset or threat. They've assigned him to work with Skywalker, testing his loyalties. Presumably, a sound that might have been laughter echoed through the chamber. How predictable. The Jedi's caution will be their undoing. As always, this Uzumaki represents a variable I did not account for in my grand design. The hologram leaned forward, but every variable can be controlled, manipulated, or eliminated. His power could serve our purposes or threaten everything. Do you wish me to attempt recruitment? Dooku asked. His philosophy seems incompatible with Jedi teachings. He values emotional bonds, personal connections, exactly what the dark side offers freely. Mary Sidious's tone carried finality. Not yet. This one is dangerous precisely because he operates outside our understanding. The Force whispers nothing about his arrival, his intentions, his future. He is a blind spot in my vision. An anomaly that could derail decades of careful planning. Dooku felt a chill despite his decades mastering the dark side. His master feared this dimensional warrior. Not openly, not dramatically, but they lurking beneath the careful words. Sidious feared anything he couldn't predict and control. Then what would you have me do, Master? Observe, test, learn his weaknesses. Sidious's hologram began to fade. If he can be turned, he shall be. If he cannot, the presence becomes suffocating. Then he dies before he disrupts the culmination of the grand plans. The Republic must follow Dooku. The Jedi must be destroyed, and I will allow nothing, not the Force itself, to prevent destiny from unfolding as I have foreseen. The hologram vanished, leaving Dooku alone with his thoughts. He reviewed the footage again, studying the golden avatar's movements, analyzing attack patterns. This Uzumaki fought with overwhelming power, but also with purpose, protecting others even in the midst of battle. That made him predictable, exploitable. General Grievous Dooku activated his command. The cyborg's mechanical face appeared, still bearing scorch marks from his encounter with Naruto. Yes, Count Dooku. Prepare your elite forces. I have a special mission for you. Dooku's expression remained neutral, but his eyes gleamed with dark
Such naive idealism. Dooku whispered to the empty chamber. The galaxy will break you, young Uzumaki, just as it broke me. And when you fall, either to our side or to death, you will prove that the Sith way is the only path to true power. But even as he spoke the words, doubt gnawed at the edges of his certainty, because the footage showed something that shouldn't exist. Power without the Force, strength without corruption, bonds that enhanced rather than limited. Everything the Sith philosophy claimed was impossible, and that made Naruto Uzumaki more dangerous than any Jedi. Relo's rust-cold surface filled the gunship's viewport as they descended through atmospheric turbulence. Naruto stood in the troop bay, surrounded by clone troopers in blue marked armor, the 5,001st Legion, Anakin's personal battalion, accepted his presence with professional weariness. Weapons ready, but not aimed. Trust through competence, not words. 2 minutes to drop zone. The pilot called back. Anti-aircraft fire is heavy. We're going to have a hot landing. Anakin stood at the front, reviewing tactical displays on his wrist unit. Listen up. Primary objective is the command center in the capital's central district. Secondary is civilian evacuation. Separatist forces have been using Twitty families as shields. We disable their command structure. Their droid army loses coordination. Then we extract before their orbital fleet can respond. And if they respond anyway, asked a clone with jagged markings on his helmet, Captain Rex, Anakin's right hand. Then we improvise. Anakin shot Naruto a meaningful look. Something our new friend seems good at. Improvising is my specialty. Believe it, Naruto grinned. Then his expression turned serious. But those civilians, they're the priority, right? We're not sacrificing people to complete the mission. The mission is saving people, Ahsoka said from across the bay. That's what being a Jedi means, protecting those who can't protect themselves. Naruto nodded, satisfied. His sensory abilities expanded, feeling the city below, thousands of life signatures, most radiating fear and desperation. The separatist droids barely registered, their mechanical nature creating hollow spots in his awareness. But there were organic signatures too, commanders and overseers radiating casual cruelty that made his blood boil. The gunship shuddered as turbo laser fire bracketed their position. Red warning lights flashed, and the pilot's voice went tight. We are taking hits, deploying countermeasures. Change of plans. Naruto created 50 shadow clones in the cramped troop bay. The clones immediately spreading across the floor, walls and ceiling like orange-suited spiders. Half the clones vanished in puffs of smoke, reappearing on the gunship's exterior. My clones will handle the anti-air. Get us to the ground. Before anyone could protest, Naruto's clones were engaging the separatist defenses. They bounced off the gunship's hull, using each other as springboards to reach the turret emplacements. Rasen guns formed in dozens of hands, simultaneously, spiraling spheres of chakra that tore through armor plating and disabled weapon systems. Explosions rippled across the defensive perimeter like a string of firecrackers. Sir Rex's voice carried amazement. He just neutralized the entire anti-air grid by himself. Not by himself, Naruto corrected as his clones' memories flooded back. By ourselves. That's the thing about shadow clones. I'm never really alone. The gunship landed hard on a plaza outside the command center, a fortified structure crawling with battle droids. B1 says, droid deckers, super battle droids, all coordinating to defend their stronghold. The rear hatch dropped and the 5,001st poured out with practiced precision, laying down, covering fire. Naruto stepped onto Relo's surface and immediately felt the planet's pain. Burned buildings, mass graves barely covered, the psychic weight of occupation and suffering pressed against his sensory abilities like physical force. This wasn't strategic warfare. This was oppression. "They're monsters," he said quietly, watching a droid squad drag tweak civilians toward a transport. "Your separatists don't just fight. They terrorize. Now you understand why we fight." Anakin ignited his lightsaber, the blue blade humming. "Come on, we've got work to do." But Naruto wasn't moving. His eyes had shifted to sage mode, vertical pupils focusing on the entire battlefield simultaneously. He felt every droid, every civilian, every hidden tactical position, and he felt something else, a familiar mechanical presence lurking in the command sense depths. Grievous was here, waiting. "Trap," Naruto announced. "This is a trap. They knew we were coming." "How can you possibly?" Ahsoka started, but explosions cut her off. Separatist reinforcements poured from side streets. Hundreds of battle droids, tanks and droid deacres, creating overlapping fields of fire. The 5,000 first scrambled for cover as laser bolts filled the air. "We're pinned down," Rex called over comms. "Request immediate support." Anakin's frustration radiated like heat. "The fleet can't provide air support without risking civilians. We have to fight through." "No," Naruto said, and suddenly there were hundreds of him. Thousands. Shadow clones filled the plaza like an army conjured from nothing, each one carrying his full power, his memories, his determination. The clone troopers stopped firing, staring in disbelief at an army that numbered more than their entire battalion. "What in them?" Rex's voice trailed off. "This is what ninja do." Naruto, the original standing beside Anakin, explained. "We adapt, we overcome, we never fight fair." He raised his hand, and every shadow clone moved as one. "Show them what we can do." The shadow clone army charged. It wasn't a battle. It was a demonstration of overwhelming force, multiplied by tactical precision. Clones engaged droids in close combat, their racing guns tearing through metal bodies like they were made of cardboard. When droids deployed shields, multiple clones combined racing guns into larger, more powerful variants that shattered energy barriers through sheer concentrated force. Tanks found themselves swarmed by dozens of clones, all targeting weak points simultaneously. Treads, gun barrels, sensor arrays. Within minutes, the separatist reinforcements were scrap metal. Impossible. Ahsoka breathed. "One person can't." "I'm not one person right now." Naruto grinned. "I'm an army, and we're just getting started." He turned to Anakin. "Your troops focus on civilian evacuation. My clones and I will handle the command center and whatever Grievous has waiting inside." "You knew he was here." Anakin's mechanical hand clenched. "How?" "I can sense him. That cold mechanical presence. He's inside, probably thinking this trap will work." Naruto's expression hardened. Time to show him what happens when you threaten innocent people in front of a ninja. Rex approached cautiously, his professional demeanor barely masking shock. "Sir, with all respect to General Skywalker, I think we should follow Uzumaki's plan. I've never seen combat effectiveness like this. Whatever he is, he's on our side." Anakin studied Naruto for a long moment, then nodded. "Do it, but Uzumaki, don't get yourself killed. The council would blame me. I never die. Believe it." Naruto's grin was confident, but not cocky. "Besides, I fought way scarier things than robots with laser swords." He sprinted toward the command center, shadow clones forming a living tide around him. Behind them, the 500 began coordinating civilian evacuations, clone troopers showing unexpected gentleness as they guided terrified Twile families toward the gunships. Inside the command center, General Grievous watched through security feeds as Naruto's army approached. His mechanical eyes processed the tactical impossibility, one being creating thousands of functional copies,
each capable of independent action and coordinated strategy. Impressive. Grievous' voice rattled through the empty command chamber. But flesh, no matter how many times duplicated, still fails against superior technology. He activated hidden defenses, laser grids, blast doors, automated turrets. Come then, Golden Warrior, let me add your head to my collection of impossible victories. But Grievous had made a fatal miscalculation. He'd treated Naruto like a Jedi, powerful, but limited by their philosophy, restricted by their need to protect others. Naruto was no Jedi. He was a shinobi who'd fought a world war, who'd faced opponents that could destroy planets, who'd learned that sometimes the only way to protect what you loved was to unleash everything you hate. The command sense doors exploded inward, and Naruto's army flooded through like an orange-clad tsunami. The command sense interior was a maze of corridors designed for droid efficiency, not organic comfort. Naruto's shadow clones spread through the structure like blood through veins, clearing rooms, disabling traps, and cataloging every threat. Through their shared consciousness, he built a complete tactical map in seconds, something that would have taken Republic intelligence hours to compile. Grievous waited in the central chamber, surrounded by deactivated super battle droids that would spring to life on his command. The cyborg general had fought Jedi for years, collected their lightsabers as trophies, refined his tactics against Force users until he could kill them in their sleep. But this opponent confused his combat algorithms. Too many targets, no Force signature to predict, movement patterns that suggested both formal training and chaotic improvisation. Finally, Grievous' mechanical voice echoed through the chamber, as Naruto's clones poured in from a dozen entrances simultaneously. The Golden Warrior faces me directly. No space combat, no interference, just you and my perfection. You talk a lot for someone who ran away last time. Naruto called out, the original standing among hundreds of identical copies. Let me guess, you're going to activate those droids. Spin your lightsabers around real fast and hope that's enough. Grievous' eyes flared. Arrogant flesh. He ignited all 4 lightsabers. Green, blue, yellow, red. Trophies from Jedi he'd killed. Your tricks won't save you here. The super battle droids activated, filling the chamber with heavy blaster fire. But Naruto's clones were already moving, weaving between laser bolts with shinobi agility. 20 clones engaged the droids while 50 more converged on Grievous himself. The cyborg became a whirlwind of plasma blades cutting through clone after clone, each dispelled in a puff of smoke, but their memories flooded back to Naruto. Information about timing reached blind spots. Interesting, Grievous noted. Bisecting 3 more clones, you learn from each destruction, adapting in real time, but flesh adapts slowly. My processors calculate faster than your neurons fire. Yeah, Naruto appeared directly in front of Grievous, moving faster than the cyborg sensors could track. Calculate this. Hassan gun, but not a standard one. This spiraled with wind-natured chakra, the same technique that had once pierced through a god. Naruto drove it into Grievous's chest plate, with enough force to crater Durasteel. The cyborg was launched backward, smashing through a tactical display and into the far wall. His armor cracked, internal systems sparking, one arm hanging limp. Grievous pulled himself upright, mechanical body grinding with damage. Impressive. You've improved since our space encounter. But I was not alone in planning this trap. The chamber's ceiling exploded inward. Count Dooku descended like a dark angel, crimson lightsaber already ignited, landing between Naruto and the crippled Grievous. The Sith Lord's presence was overwhelming. That corrupted force energy Naruto had sensed from space now concentrated and focused with deadly intent. Naruto Uzumaki. Dooku's cultured voice carried aristocratic disdain. the dimensional anomaly who's caused such disruption to our carefully orchestrated war. I must say, you're even more interesting in person. Naruto's sensory abilities screamed danger. This wasn't like Grievous, a dangerous opponent, but ultimately mechanical. Dooku radiated genuine threat. Darkness refined through decades of mastery. His power wasn't just force manipulation. It was control, precision, the kind of skill that only came from fighting at the highest levels. You must be the fallen Jedi. Naruto created more clones surrounding both enemies. The one who thinks power means standing alone, cutting all bonds. I've met people like you before. They all learned the same lesson eventually. And what lesson would that be? Dooku's blade traced elegant patterns in the air. That loneliness makes you weak, not strong. Naruto's clones charged from every angle, reason guns spiraling in hundreds of hands. Dooku moved like water, like wind, like nothing Naruto had fought before. His lightsaber deflected kunai mid-flight, redirected reason guns with force pushes, and struck down clones with surgical precision. But unlike Grievous's mechanical efficiency, Dooku fought with perfect economy. No wasted movement, no excessive force, just absolute mastery. You're skilled, Dooku acknowledged, destroying another wave of clones, but untrained in the ways of the Force. Allow me to educate you. Force lightning erupted from Dooku's fingertips. Blue-white electricity that chained through Naruto's clones, dispelling dozens simultaneously. The original Naruto dodged, feeling the electricity's heat, understanding immediately that this attack was fundamentally different from any jutsu he'd faced. It didn't just damage flesh, it attacked the spirit, the life force itself. That darkness in you, Naruto said, maintaining distance while his remaining clones harried both enemies. It's not just power, it's corruption, like a poison you keep drinking, because you're too proud to admit it's killing you. Philosophy from a child. Dooku's smile was cold. I've forgotten more about the Force than you'll ever know about your chakra. The dark side offers clarity, strength without the Jedi's self-imposed limitations. It is freedom. It's a cage. Naruto formed a reason shuriken, the forbidden technique that could obliterate at the cellular level. And I'm going to show you what real freedom looks like. He launched the attack. The reason shuriken expanded, filling the chamber with microscopic chakra blades. Dooku's eyes widened, his force senses screaming that this attack was unlike anything in the Jedi or Sith repertoire. He erected a force barrier, pouring dark side energy into defense. The reason shuriken struck the barrier and exploded. The resulting detonation vaporized what remained of the command sense interior, shockwaves rippling through the structure. When the dust cleared, Dooku stood unharmed but visibly strained, his barrier having barely held. Grievous had been blown clear through an exterior wall, his mechanical body smoking. Remarkable. Dooku lowered his shaking hands. That attack would have killed me if not for decades of Force mastery. You truly are a threat to the Sith Order. His expression hardened, which means you cannot be allowed to live. Before Naruto could respond, a new presence burst into the ruined command center. Anakin Skywalker, lightsaber blazing, rage radiating from him like furnace heat. Behind him, Ahsoka and a squad of clone troopers secured the perimeter. Dooku, Anakin's voice was barely controlled. Fury. This ends now. But Naruto wasn't looking at Dooku anymore. His negative emotion sensing his ability to detect darkness and hatred fixed on Anakin. And what he felt made his blood run cold. This wasn't just anger. It was something deeper. Fear, possessiveness, rage bottled up and compressed until it was ready to explode. The darkness he'd sensed before had grown, fed by the war, by whatever Anakin was desperately trying to protect. Skywalker. Dooku's attention shifted, predatory interest gleaming. How many times must we dance this dance? You cannot defeat me. You lack the conviction to embrace what you truly are. I'll show you conviction. Anakin charged and Naruto saw it. The moment Anakin would fall into darkness, give in to rage, cross a line he couldn't uncross. The Count was baiting him, pushing buttons only a former Jedi Master would know about. This was a test, and Anakin was failing. Naruto moved without thinking. A shadow clone intercepted Anakin mid-charge, physically restraining him despite the Jedi's enhanced strength. Stop. Don't do this. Get off me. Anakin struggled, his mechanical hand crushing the clone's arm before it dispelled. He's right there. I can end him. Not like this. Naruto created more clones to hold Anakin back. I can feel your darkness. Anakin, if you fight him like this, you'll fall just like he wants. Dooku watched the exchange with cold amusement. How touching. The dimensional warrior plays at wisdom. But Skywalker knows the truth. The only path to protecting those you love is through power. The Jedi's philosophy of detachment is a lie. Embrace your fear. Young Skywalker, embrace your hatred. It is the only way to save her. Coven. Naruto's eyes narrowed. Padme. He's threatening Padme. Anakin's rage intensified, his force presence darkening visibly. I'll kill you, Dooku. I swear it. There it is. Dooku smiled. The darkness you pretend doesn't exist, but the anomaly is correct. If you fight me now, you will fall. So, I offer a choice. Skywalker, pursue me and lose yourself to darkness, or let me walk away and continue protecting your precious senator in your limited Jedi compromised way. Don't listen to him. Ahsoka called out, her own distress palpable. Master, this is what he wants. He's manipulating you, but Naruto could feel Anakin wavering, the darkness calling to him like an addictive drug. The young Jedi was seconds from crossing a line that would change everything, and suddenly, Naruto understood something the Jedi Council didn't. Anakin's attachments weren't the problem, his fear of losing those attachments. That was the crack. Dooku and whoever he served would exploit. Anakin, Naruto's voice cut through the rage. Look at me right now. Anakin's eyes burning with fury. Not Naruto's. I've been where you are. Naruto said with absolute conviction. Watching people I love suffer, feeling powerless to protect them. When my master Jiraiya died, I wanted to destroy everything. When pain attacked my village and killed people I grew up with, I almost gave in to the Nine-Tails hatred. But you know what stopped me? What? Anakin's voice was hoarse, understanding that the people I loved wouldn't want me to become a monster to save them. That true strength isn't about power, it's about choosing light even when darkness is easier. Naruto's sage mode activated, his presence radiating conviction that had nothing to do with the Force. Your wife, your friends, your Padawan, they need you to be the hero you actually are, not the monster Dooku wants you to become. For a moment the chamber held its breath, then Anakin's lightsaber lowered, his rage bleeding away, into exhausted understanding. The darkness receded, not gone, never gone, but controlled, contained, disappointing Dooku sighed, but predictable. The Jedi always choose weakness over strength. He raised his hand and the damaged ceiling collapsed inward. Until next time, Skywalker Uzumaki. I look forward to our next encounter. He and Grievous vanished through the debris, using the Force and grappling systems respectively to escape. Republic gunships moved to pursue, but Dooku's personal fighter was already screaming toward orbit. Naruto could have followed, could have created clones fast enough to catch them, but Anakin was shaking. Realization of how close he'd come to falling written across his face, and Naruto understood that some moments mattered more than tactical victories. Thank you, Anakin whispered. I felt it pulling me, like I was drowning. That's what the dark side does.
It offers power but delivers slavery. Real strength comes from the bonds we protect and the choices we make to stay true to ourselves. Ahsoka approached cautiously, relief flooding through the Force. "Master, are you?" "I'm okay." Snips. Anakin managed a weak smile. "Thanks to a new friend." Rex's voice crackled over comms. "Generals, the city secure. All civilians evacuated. Minimal casualties. Mission success." But Naruto felt the weight of eyes watching from orbit. Dooku was reporting to someone. That shadow presence he'd sensed briefly during the confrontation. Someone infinitely more dangerous, who'd now marked Naruto as a genuine threat. The war had just become significantly more complicated. The journey back to Coruscant took 3 days through hyperspace. Naruto spent the time training with Ahsoka, sharing chakra control techniques, while learning basic Force philosophy. The young Tekrata was eager, curious, and reminded him painfully of himself at that age. Dedicated, but still figuring out who she wanted to be. "So your chakra comes from within." Ahsoka practiced the meditation stance. Naruto demonstrated, not from an external force like ours. That's why the Jedi can't sense it. "Right. Everyone has chakra in my world. Physical and spiritual energy combined. The Force is different. It's everywhere, connecting everything. Honestly, it's pretty amazing." Naruto grinned. "If I could combine chakra control with Force sensitivity, I'd be unstoppable. The Council would never allow that kind of training." Ahsoka said carefully, "They're already nervous about your influence on Master Skywalker. Because I told him the truth. That caring about people isn't a weakness." Naruto's expression hardened. "Your Jedi code is going to destroy him if you force him to choose between being a good Jedi and being a good person. It's not that simple." "It is exactly that simple." Naruto met her gaze. "I've seen what happens when organizations force people to suppress their humanity. They break, they fall, or they become something worse than their enemies. Your masters are so afraid of the dark side that they're pushing away everything that makes life worth living." Ahsoka was quiet for a long moment. "Master Obi-Wan says you're dangerous because you make people question everything they believe. Good. People should question beliefs that hurt them." Naruto softened his tone. "But I'm not trying to destroy your order. Ahsoka, I'm trying to help you see there's another way. A way where strength comes from bonds, not isolation." The gunship's intercom crackled. All personnel were approaching Coruscant. "Prepare for landing at the temple." When they disembarked, the Jedi Council was waiting, but so was someone else, a dignified woman in senatorial robes whose presence made Anakin's entire demeanor shift. Padme Amidala. Naruto's sensory abilities detected the bond between them immediately. The love they tried desperately to hide radiating like a beacon. The mission was a success. Mace Wu's tone carried grudging approval. Rylith is liberated. Civilian casualties minimal, and according to Skywalker's report, Uzumaki prevented a significant incident with Count Dooku. "He saved my master from making a terrible mistake," Ahsoka said firmly. "Dooku was trying to push him into darkness." Naruto pulled him back. The council members exchanged meaningful glances. Yoda tapped his walking stick thoughtfully. "A gift you have, young Uzumaki. Sensing darkness, connecting with others. Valuable. This could be dangerous." "It also is." "Why dangerous?" Naruto crossed his arms. "Because I might actually help people instead of just following rules. Because you operate outside our understanding." Obi-Wan explained diplomatically. "The Force guides us, gives us structure, purpose. You have no such guidance. What happens when your power meets something you can't understand or control? The same thing that always happens. I adapt, I improvise, and I protect people." Naruto shrugged. "Look, I get that I'm a disruption to your system, but your system has problems. Big ones. And if you can't see that, an alarm shrieked through the temple. Red warning lights flashed as a holographic display materialized, showing orbital space above Coruscant. A massive separatist fleet had dropped out of hyperspace, far larger than any previous assault force. At its center was a Providence-class destroyer that dwarfed everything around it. Impossible. Shark T breathed. That fleet size. It's half their entire navy. They're hailing us. The communications officer reported. Direct transmission to the Jedi Temple. Count Dooku's holographic image appeared. Larger than life. Jedi Council. I come with an ultimatum. Surrender the dimensional warrior known as Naruto Uzumaki or Coruscant Burns. You have 1 hour to decide. The chamber erupted into controlled chaos. Masters issuing orders, contacting Republic fleet commanders, coordinating planetary defenses, but Naruto stood frozen. His sensory abilities detecting something terrifying. That shadow presence from Relo, the one pulling Dooku's strings, was aboard that flagship, and its power dwarfed everyone in this room combined. They're here for me, Nard said quietly. This whole fleet, this attack, I'm the target. We will not surrender one of our own. Mace Wu declared, Republic forces will die by the millions if that fleet attacks. Naruto interrupted, his usual cheerfulness gone. I can feel it. Something on that ship. Something ancient and powerful and absolutely evil. It's not just Dooku. There's someone else. The real threat. Yoda's ears drooped. The Sith Lord. Master of Dooku. Hidden in shadows. This enemy has been now revealed. They are by your presence. Then I'm going up there. Naruto moved toward the exit. I'll fight them. Draw them away from Coruscant. You evacuate civilians, prepare defenses, and you'll die. Anakin grabbed his arm. That fleet would destroy a Jedi strike force. You can't fight an entire navy alone. Watch me. Naruto's eyes blazed with determination. I fought bigger armies, faced worse odds, and I've never backed down from protecting people, even if they're not my people. He gently pulled free of Anakin's grip. Besides, if I can take down their leadership, maybe this war ends before more innocents die. Noble, foolish, but noble. Yoda studied him with ancient eyes. Stop you. We cannot help you. We will. Skywalker, Kenobi Tano. With him you will go together. Fight. You will. Master Yoda. Sending our best Jedi into that trap. Mace Wu protested. No trap. This is a revelation. Yoda's expression was grave. The Sith reveal themselves because threatened they feel. Naruto Uzumaki threatens the dark side's grand design. End this. We must today. Padman stepped forward, her senatorial composure cracking. Anakin, please don't go. I've already lost too much to this war. Anakin's mechanical hand found hers. A moment of contact hidden from most observers, but blazing in Naruto's sensory awareness. I have to. Not just for the Republic. For him, he nodded toward Naruto. He saved me from falling. I won't let him face this alone. Then I'm going to. Ahsoka declared. Master's right. We're stronger together. 20 minutes later, Naruto floated in space surrounded by Republic fighters. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka flew in formation while Naruto used 6 Paths chakra to propel himself forward. Below, Coruscant's defense platforms powered up, and Republic cruisers moved to intercept. But everyone knew this was a distraction. The real battle would be aboard that flagship. Uzumaki. Obi-Wan's voice came through the comm system. Anakin had given him. I don't suppose you have a plan beyond charge the enemy. I usually figure it out as I go. Naruto created a dozen shadow clones that spread across the formation. But yeah, I've got an idea. I draw their attention. Make myself too big a target to ignore. You three infiltrate the flagship. Find whoever's really in charge. We take out the head. The body dies. Tactically sound. If suicidal. Obi-Wan sighed. Very well. Try not to die before we reach the ship. The Separatist fleet opened fire. Thousands of turbo lasers lit up space, converging on the small Republic force. Naruto created more clones. Hundreds. Then thousands. Each one shielding the fighters with chakra barriers, or intercepting laser bolts with well-timed kunai deflections. It was insane. Impossible. And absolutely working. He's drawing all their fire. Rex reported from his gunship. They're completely focused on him because he's terrifying. Ahsoka muttered, watching Naruto's clone army swarm through space like an orange nebula. More than should be possible. Anakin's voice carried. The Force whispers nothing about his limits. It's like he doesn't have any. They reached the flagship's hangar bay. Naruto's clones had cleared a path through debris and disabled point defense systems. As the Jedi landed their fighters, Naruto's army began the real assault. Clones poured into the massive ship through dozens of hull breaches, engaging battle droids, security systems, and automated defenses simultaneously. Inside the flagship's command bridge, Dooku watched the tactical displays with growing concern. He's not just powerful, he's strategic. Every clone operates independently, but coordinates perfectly. It's like fighting a hive mind with infinite bodies. Then we simplify matters. The shadow beside Dooku solidified, revealing a figure in dark robes whose face remained hidden. But the presence Darth Sidious himself, traveling in a specialized stealth vessel. Attached to the flagship, radiated power that made even Dooku seem like a student. I will handle the dimensional warrior personally. You deal with Skywalker and his companions. My lord, if Uzumaki is as dangerous as we suspect, I am a Sith Lord who has orchestrated a galactic war across thousands of systems. Sidious's voice carried absolute confidence. I have manipulated the Jedi Order for decades, corrupted their greatest warriors, and stand moments from ultimate victory. One-dimensional anomaly, no matter how powerful, cannot threaten my grand design. But Naruto was already inside the ship, and his sensory abilities had locked onto that shadow presence like a targeting laser. Kurama's voice rumbled through their mental link. Pit. That signature. It's like Kaguya. Like Madara. At his worst.
Concentrated evil, I know. Our Naruto dismissed most of his clones, conserving chakra for what was coming. Our Naruto. This is the real threat, the puppet master pulling all the strings. He moved through corridors filled with droid wreckage, following that dark presence like a bloodhound. And I'm going to stop him, whatever it takes. He reached the central chamber, a massive space designed for separatist war councils. Dooku stood at the far end, lightsaber already ignited, but Naruto's attention fixed on the figure in shadows, the presence that radiated malevolence so concentrated, it was almost physical. Naruto Uzumaki, Sidious's voice, was silk wrapped around razors, the anomaly that threatens everything. I must admit, you've exceeded my expectations. Power without the Force, bonds without weakness, strength without corruption. You represent something I thought impossible, and you're everything I fought against. Naruto shot back. Someone who manipulates others, causes suffering for power, hides in shadows while people die following your lies. His chakra flared, 6 paths, Sage mode activating fully. I've dealt with people like you before. They all learned the same lesson eventually, that they were wrong. Sidious laughed, a sound like breaking glass. No, young warrior, they learned that power is the only truth, that those strong enough to seize destiny shape it, that good intentions mean nothing against absolute force.
He raised his hands and force lightning erupted. Not simple bolts, but cascading storms of blue-white electricity that filled the chamber. Naruto dodged his enhanced reflexes, barely keeping ahead of attacks that moved at light speed. The lightning struck where he'd been standing, vaporizing metal decking. He countered with a resin nurican, the wind-natured attack screaming through the air. Sidious gestured, and the force itself seemed to solidify, creating a barrier that the Russian shuriken couldn't penetrate. Impressive weapon, Sidious observed, but ultimately limited by your three-dimensional thinking. The force exists in dimensions beyond your comprehension. Your chakra, powerful as it is, operates on principles I mastered centuries ago. Centuries. Naruto created dozens of clones. How old are you? Old enough to have orchestrated the fall of republics, the corruption of Jedi, the manipulation of entire species. Sidious's power intensified, his presence becoming suffocating. I am inevitability, boy, the dark side incarnate, and you are an anomaly that will be corrected. The battle that followed defied description. Naruto unleashed everything. Tailed beast bombs that Sidious deflected with force, pushes strong enough to crack the hull, shadow clone armies that the Sith Lord decimated with force storms, resin guns and Russian shurikens that met force barriers reinforced by dark side energy accumulated over lifetimes. Sidious fought with the casual cruelty of absolute mastery. Force, lightning, telekinesis, dark side corruption. He wielded the force like a maestro conducting an orchestra of death. Every attack targeted not just Naruto's body, but his spirit, his will, his very life force. But Naruto had fought gods before, had stood against Kaguya, against Madara, against enemies who could reshape reality itself. He adapted, learned, and most importantly, he never stopped moving forward. You can't break me, Naruto roared. Kurama's chakra exploding outward. The Nine Tails avatar manifested inside the chamber, easily 3 stories tall, golden fur blazing with power. I've been hated, abandoned, treated like a monster, and I became the strongest ninja in my world by never giving up. Then you will die with your pathetic optimism intact. Sidious's voice carried finality. Force, storm. The attack was nothing. Naruto had faced before, not lightning, not wind, but space-time itself twisting into a localized vortex that consumed matter, energy, and life indiscriminately. The same power that had once destroyed fleets, the ultimate expression of dark side mastery, and Naruto was caught in its pull. Kurama's avatar being torn apart by forces that operated on dimensional levels. His chakra, powerful as it was, couldn't fully counter attacks that literally bent reality. He was being pulled into a void that would shred him across multiple dimensions. Kit, we can't withstand this. Kurama's voice carried rare fear. This attack operates on principles beyond our universe. Then Anakin was there, lightsaber blazing, deflecting secondary force attacks. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka covered the flanks, their combined force presence, creating a protective barrier. Together, the Jedi channeled light side energy, not attacking, but supporting their power flowing into Naruto like transfusion. You're not alone, Anakin shouted over the storm's roar. That's what you taught me. Bonds make us stronger. And suddenly Naruto understood his chakra was dimensional energy. Yes, but the force was universal energy. And in this moment, 3 Jedi were offering their power freely, creating a bridge between 2 energy systems, not merging them, but letting them reinforce each other. Naruto's chakra resonated with the force energy, amplified by it without being controlled by it. The combination created something unprecedented, power that drew from 2 separate universal laws simultaneously. His tailed beast avatar reformed, but now it blazed with both golden chakra and the shimmering light of the force. Impossible. Sidious's composure cracked. The force cannot. Chakra cannot.
You shouldn't exist. I exist because people believed in me. The combined energy protecting him. Because bonds gave me strength. Because love, friendship, and determination are more powerful than all your manipulation and darkness. He struck Sidious with a raisin reinforced by force energy, an attack that operated on both chakra principles and force mechanics simultaneously. The resulting explosion vaporized half the command chamber and sent the Sith Lord flying through reinforced bulkheads. When the smoke cleared, Sidious was rising, his robes tattered, his hood fallen back to reveal a face twisted by decades of dark side corruption. But more importantly, he was injured, actually hurt. You've proven your point. Sidious's voice was cold fury. You cannot be allowed to exist. You represent a variable I cannot control, cannot predict, cannot manipulate. Therefore, you must die. He raised both hands and the entire flagship began to tear itself apart. Sidious was pulling power from every dark side source available. The fear of dying crew members,